Hey guys, it's InWaves. Today I'm going to be showing you how to recompile your Sledders files. So this is if you had two separate versions of the game and there was a hot patch, like specifically for me, there was the second hot patch of Sledders that came out this week, and it caused my secondary files that I didn't have implemented via Steam, which were my modded files, to break, which then caused me to have issues when installing newer wraps because I wasn't on the latest hot patch. So as you can see, I have my Sledders modded files right here. This is a clean, well, not clean install, but this is an install of the game. I am missing a couple of the map extensions and everything. That should not be a problem. Then you'll see I'm missing like these preloaders. That also isn't a problem, but this is my non-modded version. So what we're going to be installing first of all is we are actually not going to install anything. We are going to copy all these files. So I recommend before you do anything that you go ahead and you make a new folder on your desktop. This does require some adequate space, but this will be helpful. And just to clarify, if you already have broken game files that have been causing issues, like old wraps, that will not be fixed in this because we will not be doing a complete fresh install. This is just so you can get all your mods onto the latest patch. If the mods are not updated or you have outdated wraps that are causing your game to crash, I'd recommend going back and looking at these files while you're doing this conversion so you hit all this stuff, and take a look and get rid of anything that is old. So like as you can see, I'll show you in a moment one way that I make sure my game is up to date and everything is going to work. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to name this folder Sledders Files. Now, what I will show you is I have this, which just has my wraps, UAB, and all my stuff. So this is basically just anything that's there. So what I'd recommend doing is copying everything of this. Now, this will, depending on how big you have of mods, will cause a lot of space, but I recommend doing it just in case, so you can always roll back to an older version of the game. So we'll just go ahead and let this all copy over. Now, depending on, again, how many mods you have, it might be bigger. I also have some wraps and things in this game, but, you know. Now that we have this all copied over, what we're going to do is see this beep in X. Further, we're going to go ahead and cut that, and we're going to paste it. Then, our melon loader and our mods folder, along with our mono bleeding edge folder, we're all going to cut this and copy it to our desktop. Now, plugins, you don't have to grab anything. Now, if you have reshade shaders, I'd recommend you also copy this and repaste it. And now, if you have files like this, like I have some wraps and everything, I'd recommend you copy your Sledders data. So just go ahead and cut that and then paste it. Now, I will show you how to replace with the common files if those are not up-to-date wraps. Luckily, I am on the latest version, though. Now, what we're going to do is you'll see Turbo Tuner configurations, loader, and melon preferences in your user data. We're going to copy over user data and user libs here over to our desktop. So we're just going to cut this and paste it. Now what we're going to do, you'll see this doorstop.config. This is important. You're going to grab your doorstop version and you're going to cut and paste it. This is required for Melon Loader to work. Then you're going to grab your config file of doorstop and also paste that onto your desktop. Now, this DXGI, I'd recommend grabbing it just to be safe. It should get reinstalled, but just to be careful. Now you'll see I have a couple reshade presets. So I'm going to go ahead and copy these over as I copied everything else over. And I obviously want my reshade presets. So I'll go ahead and just copy this over to my desktop. Now, all we'll have left in here is our plugins, Sledders, Unity Crash Handler, and Unity Player. You don't have to grab your Unity Player. I recommend that you do grab it. You don't have to, but it may be helpful. Now, all that will be left is all this preloader stuff, and this is a broken but unmodded game. A broken but unmodded game. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to Common. Remember, keep this up here. This is separate. This is a copy in case we have to go back because our game was broken. During the process, we messed something up. This allows you to go back so you don't have to reinstall anything. This is a very smart method, and I believe that by doing this, it is going to be a lot easier. So now, what you're going to do is you're going to come over to your local disk, and the best way to get over to this is just to go over to Steam. You're going to go over here, and you're going to go Browse Local Files, and then we're going to come up to our address bar, and we're going to go over to Common. And what we're going to do is we're going to delete our Sledders folder from Common, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come over to Properties, and you will see I have the latest update of the game. So, Hot Patch 2, April 3rd, 2025. Now, we are going to go ahead and verify the integrity of the game, and it will say 261 files filled to validate, and they will be reacquired. Now, we are just going to wait for this to update. Now, depending on those 261 files, that's roughly about 2.2 gigs. So we're just going to go ahead and let these update, and then we'll get back to you and show you how to put those files back into the game. So as you can see, our files are almost fully completely reinstalled, which is good. Everything is almost done validating. We just have about 15 more seconds to go. Depending on your Wi-Fi, this will go a lot faster. My Wi-Fi's decided to be slow today, apparently. But that's alright. It is the same process, regardless if you have good or bad Wi-Fi. Now that we have everything installed, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to come over to our Steam library. We're going to go to Manage and Browse Local Files. Now, we will have our pretty much unmodded game now, as what you will see. If I compare this to this properly unmodded game, there's basically no difference, other than maybe down to the fact that there's this beeping X here. But that's just because we haven't launched the game yet. So, what I would recommend doing before we do anything is we go ahead and just launch the game. Just a first launch through Steam. Unmodded, nothing. This is going to help clear out any issues or anything wrong with any files, and just let the game load up. You don't have to do anything, just kind of sit on the main menu for a couple seconds. This will just, like I said, help your game initialize itself and create any file folders that you need. So, just go ahead and sit here and go ahead and relax. Now we can go ahead and exit our game. Just wait for everything to close up. Now what we can do is we can start replacing our files again. So the first thing I'm going to start doing for recompiling this is I'm going to grab all my reshade presets and I'm going to place them into the Sledders folder. Then you will see there's the Sledders data here. Now, if you are unsure that your wraps are updated to the latest version, or you know you don't have the updated version and it is going to break the game, what I recommend doing is cutting out your resources from the Sledders data on the unmodded game, and also cutting out shared assets 1. These are the unmodded wraps, so this is going to make sure just in case you have a fallback in case something's broken. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and place in, once again, we didn't need this Unity player, but I recommend grabbing it. We're going to put it in. If it is not up to date and you look at the date, you can just forget about it, but I like to put it there anyways just to be safe, and it'll manually get updated eventually. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come right here and we're going to grab our doorstop and dxgi.dll, and place it in, and our doorstop version. Now what we're going to do, we're going to grab our user data folder and we're going to place it in there along with our beep and X folder. And then everything else, what we can do is we can grab our user libs and our melon loader, place it all into there. And once again, we're going to go ahead and copy over our Sledders data folder. That'll go ahead and move everything. Just go ahead and replace all the files. Now, what we're going to do is these are our reshade shaders textures. We're going to go ahead and place this into the Sledders folder. And you don't need to grab this, but I got you to grab it anyways. We're just going to grab our mono bleeding edge folder, put it in there, and then replace the files. Now all we have left to do is put our mods in. So I have all my mods, including my turbo tuner and my dev and pretty much everything mod map wise and everything. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grab this and place it into our Sledders folder. Now we can close up our Sledders folder, and what we're going to do is I recommend you exit Steam and just go ahead and reopen it. This will help make sure Steam has all the updated files and everything. So just go ahead and let your Steam open back up. You know, depending how long it'll take, you know. Now, once Steam's loaded up, you're going to come over to the library. And what you're going to do, you're going to go to Manage and Browse Local Files, and just make sure everything of your files are in there and everything seems proper and everything. Remember, this is important right here. Now what we can do is we can come here and we can go ahead and launch our game. And we'll just let the game launch and load up and we'll see if everything worked. So you will see that everything worked other than we do not have our Unity Explorer. This is expected. Unity Explorer does not seem to carry over via the latest update, at least when you recompile all these folders. So we do have to reinstall Unity Explorer. Now that shouldn't be too hard, which is very nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over to our browser, and we're going to open up the GitHub for Unity Explorer. So just go ahead and look up Unity Explorer. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to come here and we're going to find the latest version of it. And then we're going to install the latest version of the Melon Loader mono file for Unity Explorer. So once we have the mono file for Unity Explorer open, we're going to open it, and you do have to make sure that you have some sort of way to open it, either with 7-zip, WinRAR, it doesn't matter. Now what we're going to do is we're going to come over to here, and we're going to copy our mods, and we'll have mods and user lib. Now, what we need to do is we are going to go over to Steam. We're going to come over to Browse Local Files, and we're just going to grab these two folders right here, and we're going to copy them into our Sledders folder. Now, once we have those all copied over, what we're going to do is we're going to try and launch the game, and we're going to see what happens. Now, this might not work, or it might work. Now, as you can see, it didn't load it, which means we need to reinstall Melon Loader. We have everything installed except for Melon Loader. This is also another common thing. I would recommend doing this anyways. I have not found a great way to get Melon Loader properly installed. But see, you will find that if we come back to our main files, we do have everything here. It is all loaded, you know. Unity Crash Handler, version DLL. It is all here, but, you know. So what we can do is, I guess there's kind of two methods. You will notice we have Melon Loader here, and it is installed, but it might be being kind of weird right now. So this is why I got you to make two different file folders so we can kind of copy in between. This just makes it a little bit more straightforward and a little bit easier for us. So you will find if we come to plugins, there's nothing for either of them. That's normal. What we are going to do is we're just going to copy this plugins folder from the old game and paste it just so we have that plugins folder there. This is helpful to have. Now that we have everything put in there, all we should have to do, realistically, is this version.dll right here. We're going to grab it and we're just going to copy it. Don't cut it because it is nice to have these files. So version DLL, and if we compare all of our files, our user libs, they're the exact same. If we compare our user data, they are the exact same. If we compare our Sledders data, they are all seemingly the same. Our mono edge, our beep and X. So hopefully everything should now work. So if we come here and we open Sledders, what should happen is Melon Loader should load up. Now that is everything you have to do to recompile all of your Sledders folders after the new update, so you are able to get all of your mods put back into the game, have all of your reshade presets, all of your maps, every single mod you have. That's all you have to do. Super simple. You'll get used to it. It took me some time too, but it is not a bad process, and now we have everything updated on the latest version. Now, I will show you that if you are having issues with your files, say something that you had is currently not up to date, which can happen. Say you have a certain wrap that is not properly up to date, that will cause issues. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over to our Sledders data. Now, I quite personally have the wraps working because this is for this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut and I'm just going to paste. These are the proper thing. So actually what I'm going to do, because it's going to cause issues obviously, because I still have that on my thing, is I'm just going to go ahead and demonstrate what you would do, but not do it myself, because I don't really want to pull them up at the moment. But what you would do is you would grab your Sledders files right here, both these files, and you're going to put them into here where your old ones are, and these are the non-modded. And then when you load up your game, you will not have your wraps, but your game should load up properly. That is everything you need to do to be able to compile your game and to get everything to work. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for coming along the journey of recompiling your Sledders files, and I hope you guys have a fun time riding. Goodbye.